1.
Fort Lauderdale, formerly called Little River Settlement and seen as one of the most diverse cities in the state of Florida, is a perfect spot for soccer. Well, football, and especially in one of the coldest months of the winter, January. The Caribbean America Soccer Association CASA Classic was being held for the first time since 2019 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This was the 10th staging of the event, which was the brainchild of the late former ISA competitions director George Forbes and the CASA president Richard Campbell. On its return, organizers decided to shift the tournament from its customary December staging to the month of January.
Usually it's in December. We were told by ISA that they needed some time, so we transferred it to January, which is now. And it took a lot of work, but we were so excited that we just ran around and made sure it happened. To my surprise, we have had so much support and sponsors and just people pouring in to say, yes, the Youth Classic is back. And so we've had a lot of support from all over. I cannot even tell you, people that are calling me wanting to help. They want to be a part of it because they're excited that the Youth Classic is back in Lauderhill.
It's very important, especially for the kids around the area, to have that where they can go on the field and perform, and to have college coaches coming and looking at them. And for me, especially for the kids coming up from Jamaica, I mean, it's just to give them another avenue, give them another opportunity. And there's not only college coaches here, there's actually professional coaches and agents here looking at the kids, because I've talked to some of them. And they're very impressed.
My goal as director is to see as many young men, and I'm not going to say just African American or island young men as a whole, get scholarships to go to these colleges. These are $35,000, $50,000, $60,000 US dollars worth of scholarship.
This is a 6-team under-19 tournament with 2 groups of 3. In Group A, Inter Miami, Altitude Rush and Tobago Select, and in Group B, Jamaica Select, Plantation and Lauderhill Lions. On day 1 of the tournament, local teams Plantation and Lauderhill Lions faced off, with Plantation coming out 2-1 winners. Just before the opening match, we caught up though with the Tobago team at training ahead of their opener against Inter Miami.
The moment, I just want to see everybody, with glowing eyes, kind of happy, SportsMax, you know what I mean? And plenty of them would not believe that SportsMax might have been following the whole tournament. Say happy, I'm totally enthusiastic that that for the kids actually, because for me I've been traveling the world, but I'm really happy for the kids to have an opportunity to really be here to showcase their talent. So what we did in 6 weeks back, we went to all the high schools and started asking not even some of the best players, but players who are willing to travel, to showcase their talent. So it's from all of the high schools in Tobago, a combined team, with 1 person from Trinidad. So what we really work on a lot of endurance, because we had limited time of 6 weeks to try to put the team together. But individually, you have a lot of talent. You have past under-20 national players. It have even the under-17 national goalkeeper as well, the under-20, past under-20 national goalkeeper. So it have some national players within the squad. So this is my 4th time here, and most times we come with sometimes 15, 18 people, and Tobago doesn't have a turf, so actually I had to bring, this time I brought 31 players actually, because sometimes 2nd and 3rd game that we don't really hold up on the turf, because back home, it's a little muddy and people like to slide, and I've been getting a little injuries with the turf, so we had prepared with basically more players. I would like to face Jamaica. Last time we was in the quarterfinals, I think we lost 2-1 or something like that. So our idea is really to meet the final so the scouts could really see these kids, you know, and give them opportunities for scholarships. What I want to say to Tobago, there's a place more than Tobago, and I wish everybody could come out in the wider world and see what's going on, because there's so much opportunities. If you travel abroad, you know, you might have much more opportunities. So at least kind of widen the mind, you know, and take chances. You never know where you're going to end up. It's going to be tough, fellas. The reason why, you know, we just have to stay focused, stick as planned, and do what we are doing.
Tobago seemed well prepared for the conditions this time around. Let's see how well they did on day 2 against the academy players from Inter Miami. Day 2 of the CASA Youth Soccer Classic in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, were the first of the 2 Caribbean teams going into action against the academy team of the MLS franchise Inter Miami. A 31-strong member Tobago squad appearing quite relaxed ahead of kickoff against an Inter Miami setup considered to be among the favourites for the title.
Help us not to get any injuries in this game. Help us to come out victorious. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. 1, 2, 3, Tobago!
Within the first 6 minutes, Tobago gave up a penalty, Inter Miami duly obliging to take the lead through Joseph Converse. And then a neat play down the left side leading to a powerful drive from the top of the 18. That made it 2-0, gorgeous goal. The Tobago select team down by 2 at halftime, but feeling they were still in the game.
Up to now, we had no 2-touch passes and nothing. The man who went to me, who not showing Christmas, you're playing the ball here, you're following the ball and staying. The ball's supposed to be from you all in the back in this. You, to bed.
If you play on this side, use the man to put it when it's supposed to drop for you. So these all are supposed to be it. Let's cover each other. When we have it now, you have to go and show fit. Many times when we have the ball, you're going and share. We don't want that. We need to get your job is to make sure and supply.
Second half now, but things got worse for the Tobago select team as 5 unanswered goals led to a 7-0 defeat. Coach Joseph, though, still appreciated the effort of his boys.
I just believe it's a culture shock from before. Remember, we are accustomed playing on such grassy and slow fields that, you know, the turf, that the boys can keep up to the turf. Back home, the quality of football is not like that. You know what I mean? So that is why I really bring the boys and them out here to really see the quality of football. They are young guys as well. I at least have 3 years with them, and then from there we could grow. So every year, next year, you know, we come again. Inter Miami might have to be looking, you know, we might defeat Inter Miami, and never know.
We played well. I think Tobago traveled, right? Yeah. We drove 15 minutes, so I think we had a little bit of an advantage in that regard. And we have been together. Tobago is a select team. We trained together all year. So, but I thought we played well. Our players did well. They defended at a high intensity, very organized. They played simple. They were very dynamic. They created a lot of chances. So I thought that it was an honest effort and a good performance from our team.
Actually, they really move off the ball very fast. You know what I mean? We wasn't moving off the ball that fast, but back home, the pace of football or soccer is nothing like that, you know? So for me, it's a learning process, and I wish that, especially home, they could fix the pitches that the ball could really move a little faster, you know? Because the grass is so thick at home, the ball actually waits for you. And coming from back in Tobago, I really tell them that the ball is going to be moving. Not much of the players, but if anytime you try chasing the ball, you'll be out of it.
Wow, Tobago was prepared, but not for this. They have 2 days rest though to get things right for the next one. When we return, the focus will be on the Jamaica select team. We're back with the CASA Youth Classic highlight show. The Jamaicans arrived in town on day 2 with their opening game scheduled for day 3. Ideally, they would have wanted to have at least a full day to train and acclimatise, but that wasn't the case.
I think for us, unfortunately, a lot of the guys couldn't make it to this trip because of it's a really good group, same way, and we have to just push on and do our best.
Go there to win the title. That's the first thing. We have to win the match them, we have to win tonight, we have to win Saturday night, and we have to win Sunday night. Think for your game. What you going to bring to the table today?
Yeah. I think it was a good introductory session. I wanted to train yesterday, but we never had the arrangements in place in terms of transportation and all of that. And the use of the field, because when we got up, the game was already on. But I think this morning what we did was basically to get them touch of the ball, get them to understand certain patterns that we want them to play. So I think overall it was a fairly good session.
We have to come together and make that bond really quick, it's a short time, and we have to build that chemistry, and I think it's going well so far.
We have a lot of players who we would have wanted to be here, but they're not here, so I think those who are here, we are really grateful. Disciplined group, boys who listen. I think we have 4 more that should fly in this afternoon, so hopefully we have them in time for the game. So overall, I think it's a good group. We have to start on a very high note. We watched 2 teams last night. Potentially we might play one of them in the final if we get to that point, which we're hoping that we'll get to there. So I think we have to start strong tonight, definitely.
Saka, are you a lot champ on them there now? Are you for score the goal?
I'm really pumped, and can't wait to get started.
Each time we come here to win. The last time I came here in 2019, we won. We won pretty big. In the final, I think we won that game 5-0. So I expect these youngsters also to deliver. When Jamaica arrive at these tournaments, we are normally the darlings of these tournaments, so we have to show that.
The Jamaica select team had only 16 players, with 4 arriving on game day. Plus, they had to train on the lawn of the hotel. But the Jamaicans are not unaccustomed to adversity, so let's see how well they did against the hungry Lauderhill Lions.
Day 3 of the CASA Youth Soccer Classic in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And defending champions Jamaica All-Schools team are on show for the first time in the tournament. Their opponents, Lauderhill Lions, lost 2 days earlier to Plantation, and they need a win to keep hopes alive of making it to Sunday's final.
2, 3, you
Despite some early pressure from Lauderhill Lions, the Jamaicans took the lead after 10 minutes. Compliments this cool finish from Javier Lynch, neatly turning his marker near the half line, using his power, pace, and skill.
That is it!
The Lions came roaring back in just 2 minutes later. 1-1, game on. And they took the lead in the 14th minute after this nice pass to set up a good finish. The fans totally shocked. But Kevon Wilson showed his quality and skill with a solo dribble and calm finish to get the equalizer in the 13th minute. 2-2 at the half, the coaches having to give the boys a strong word during the break. Both teams created chances in the second half, but the custodians were equal to the task, coming up big to keep the score level. But just when the game seemed destined for a draw, Lauderhill Lions making a huge mistake, Lynch taken down in the box, penalty to the Jamaica select team, and a chance to win it. Theon Cupid steps up, saved. The second chance crashes off the crossbar. Wow. Jamaica All-Schools not making use of their late chance, the game ending in a 2-2 draw.
Well, we didn't name a penalty kicker. We never practiced like that, but I think one of the senior players should have stepped up and kicked it. I think Lynch should have kicked it, and Saka, Wilson. But as such the game, I saw it go make it more exciting for the second game. and also the surface, you know, the turf quicker. So you have to be moving faster than the normal grass pitch. So I think that's what got us today. The pace of the game, the aggression of the opponent was tough also.
Pretty much I know the Jamaican football pretty well because I play for the Haitian national youth, play U17, U15, U16, U20, all the way up to the major. So I know the type of football Jamaica play. So I was preparing myself to come in to play that type of football they play. So I think that's why give us that result we have today.
A slight setback because the team that drew with us a while ago, they lost the first game. So all we have to do is win the next game. You know, it does set the tone for an exciting next game. You know, so we are looking forward to the next game, you know.
What a match! The Lions knocked out but left the tournament happy. However, the Jamaicans had it all to play for, with Plantation leading the group. It's break time, but when we return, we'll have a look at how the two Caribbean teams spent their day off. Welcome back. Fort Lauderdale is one of the biggest shopping destinations for travelers. So while this is a football tournament, the Jamaicans and Tobagonians took their day off to do some shopping. Let's see what they got.
So yeah, we're looking to leave there. The resort there. Yeah, boy. Yeah, no, we can go in the mall and shop and things. So we just come off the bus, scanning and... Don't know, we outside, without no fear, we outside without no fear. Out there nice. Yeah, I don't know. Bang. We outside. Shoes, clothes. Just enjoy the time. I'll enjoy it. Next door, we're going. I might buy the chain. Check out Foot Locker. You're my charge there. Yo, Andrew, tell them where I go by. Just to you, from your mother.
So the guys are not all over the place, you know. There's like experience to them because they don't have any big malls like that in Tobago. So they're all over the place. So the cameraman can't even catch them, you know. And also, I just we have practice this afternoon. After practice, we go and see Inter Miami play and prepare for the game tomorrow.
Well, we hope that their luggage can manage all that shopping. On a day when both Jamaica and Tobago were on a break, the tournament continued with Inter Miami hosting Altitude Rush at Inter's state-of-the-art training facility about 18 minutes drive from Lauderhill Sports Complex. Field 6 of 7 training pitches would host this Group A game.
On day 4 of the CASA Youth Classic, the tournament moved to the state-of-the-art Drive Pink Stadium, the home of MLS franchise Inter Miami. The training facility has 1 turf field and 6 natural grass fields. Grass field number 6 was the location for the clash between host Inter Miami under-19 and Altitude Rush from Fort St. Lucie. For the first time in the tournament, we were singing Altitude Rush, and they knew from early that this would be a very difficult task against the hosts. As expected, Inter Miami were on the front foot early with a series of attacks, especially down the left. However, the first opportunity would fall to Altitude. finding space behind the Inter defense, but the goalkeeper came up big. Inter took the lead from a corner set piece. An easy finish to put them up 1-0. 20 minutes later, they went up 2-0 after a goalkeeping error, and things were not looking good for Altitude. Even with the constant pressure for Inter Miami, the half would end with no further change to the score. After the restart and a few personnel changes, Inter Miami continued to press for every ball, and Altitude just could not keep up. 3 more goals before the final whistle. Inter Miami 5, Altitude Rush 0.
I think our kids were scared. I think it was the kind of game they really need. I think if we had a game like this every month, I think they can come to the level. But I think if we were on the back foot. Then we gave up 2 soft goals. We started off the second half. It looked promising for about 10-15 minutes, but we couldn't sustain it. And then floodgates opened. So everybody got a run out, but you play bad, you lose. And they're quite a good opponent, so respect to them. It's the beauty of sports. The beauty of sports is you got to put this one behind you, and tomorrow you get a chance to put it right. So, we'll get something to eat, we'll drive home. I'll make a few nips and tucks for tomorrow's roster, and we'll see how it goes. They're pretty good kids, so I think they'll bounce back.
Consistency in effort, is very important for the boys to remain focused, right, and continue to play with high energy through 90 minutes without taking breaks, without getting distracted. So it was a consistent, good effort today. Yeah, we want to have the ball, so when we lose possession of the ball, we want to recover the ball as quickly as possible. Right, so we defend forward and we counter press hard, and we want the ball in our best defensive shape regained as quickly as possible.
Inter Miami now go into Sunday's final with 12 goals in 2 games and none conceded.
So the Inter Miami CF Academy, one of the special things is that it's only for South Florida players. So all the young men you see on the field are from different nationalities, right? Some from South America, some from Latin America, some from the Caribbean, some from Europe, but they're all South Florida residents, okay? About half these boys have been together for the past 4 years, all right? And we're active six days a week for 11 months straight, all right? So we train Monday through Friday, and we play games on the weekend. If we play 2 games on the weekend, then we take Monday off. If we play 1 game on the weekend, then we take Sunday off. But these are boys that are, we follow the principles of play of the club. We follow the methodology of the academy. And so they perform with a certain understanding, and they're on the same page. And so it's good to see them at this stage performing well, They come here at 8:30 in the morning, and then they train from 9:30 to 11:30. Then they shower and they have lunch at the club, and then they go to school here at the club. We have a teacher, and they go through a virtual platform with a teacher on site that is supervising and supporting their progress. And they go home like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, but when they go home, all the homework is done, all the studying is done. Most of them get good grades. Most of the boys you're watching now more than likely will be going to college in the next year or 2. And then we'll see how, we always keep track of them to see how they evolve. Some of them will jump to the reserves and then hopefully sign a professional contract. But those that don't sign the professional contract early, they can go to school and continue to develop themselves. And then see if they come out after college, see if they get drafted. If we bring them back, or they can go to another club. So we have right now, we have homegrown players. We have players that have come through the academy from South Florida, that joined the academy, now have turned professional. We have the reserves. 70% of the reserve roster are players that some of them are pros and some of them are amateurs, but they're playing in a professional league, and they're coming also from the academy. So and then we're also placing players in some of the top universities in the country. So it's very rewarding to see that the players are making the most out of the opportunity. Kids from South Florida living the dream, making the most out of it every day, So they know they're privileged, right? We are privileged to be part of this club, to have this infrastructure, to have this platform. And it's rewarding when you see the guys make the most of it, you know, with humility and appreciation for what they do.
After the break, we will see which team from Group B will meet Inter Miami in the final. Day 5 of the 6-day Youth Soccer Classic was the only double-header day, as both the Tobago and the Jamaica select teams were on show. Before the football in the evening, the CASA organizers invited coaches and officials to the Chateau Del Mar Hotel as they hosted for the first time College Talk.
My name is Daniel Radis. I'm the head coach at Fort Lauderdale University.
My name is Mungai Ketebi. Just like you guys, I've been an international student, originally from Africa.
I am Romar Atkinson. Funny thing about it, 9 years ago, I was in your seat.
My name is Leighton Gray. Well, I'm Dr. Leighton Gray.
College soccer is just another opportunity for you to extend and for you to grow into whatever kind of soccer player you want to be. Okay. While doing that, you're going to earn a degree, a college degree. As we all know, is very powerful to hold. So the number one thing we run into, especially here in the US, is when I ask this question, it's pretty dominant. So when I ask the question, who here wants to play pro? Raise your hand. That's very consistent, okay? In the reality, when it comes to the numbers, okay, especially here in the US, 0.1% of players go pro. So that's 1 out of every 1,000 players that are in the youth system in the US that grow up by the age of 18 or 19 or 20 go pro. And now you need to grow up very, very quickly. Here in the US, the system of college it gives you an opportunity to extend 4 more years of soccer, okay? Where you can play for 4 more years. And while you're doing that, you're earning that degree that I told you about. And not only that, in those 4 years, if you take each year 1 year at a time, and you really get better 1 year at a time, it's still possible to go pro.
You need to be prepared physically, you need to be prepared mentally, okay? I understand this, you're gonna be away from home, okay? All your teammates, they're gonna have family support that are accessible to them that you may not have. If they have a problem, they can either go home that day, or mom and dad can drive, it's 30 minutes or an hour or even 2 hours. You're gonna have to learn to rely on yourself.
I just wanna let you know that academics, how good your grades are, is really, really important in the United States of America, because the better your grades are, depending on the institution, the more scholarship money you will receive.
Another thing that I need to add about the scholarships, okay? Academic scholarships is better than the soccer scholarship. Okay? The soccer scholarship, there's only a certain amount of them. And you're competing against players worldwide. Everybody wants that scholarship. Okay? If you got the academic one, you're competing with nobody. You're just competing with yourself. Okay? So go for that academic scholarship first.
I can tell you here, if you come here, you actually get the opportunity to get a scholarship here and actually work and actually get the grades and stuff, you can be what you want to be here. You will get the opportunity. I promise you that. And the day that dedication meets opportunity is the day that you'll be successful.
Freshman year is your most vulnerable year. It's the year that you can make or break yourself. Because if you're not successful, then you're going to drop out. And then if we drop out of college, more likely you're going to get sent back home. It's not like the Americans where they can go to a college, community college, a junior college, and then come back up. For us, it's very, very strict.
Do you actually stay to study? Do you go home late at night and study? Do I maybe not hang out with this girl tonight because I have an exam tomorrow? These are all questions you have to ask, because at the end of the day, all these girls and stuff, they're going to leave. If you chase the money, the girls will chase you. If you chase the girls, then you lose money. You have to think about this logically, and it's the truth.
On behalf of the Jamaica And the Tobago team would like to thank you guys for taking the time out to not give us a little information. And the work that you guys are doing will not be unnoticed, you know. But I really appreciate it, and we'll definitely use the information wisely.
A lot of good information there for the players to take with them, and maybe even good encouragement when they hit the field on day 6. For Tobago, it was a matter of finishing on a high, and for Jamaica, it was simple: win, and they would advance to the final.
After their 2-2 draw on Thursday against Lauderhill Lions, it was do or die for the Jamaican select team as they faced the Plantation team, who were very confident after defeating Lauderhill on opening night of the CASA Youth Soccer Classic. Jamaica made 5 changes to their starting lineup, and that would pay dividends. 27th minute, Jaheim Johnson cutting inside from the left, slammed a hard right foot shot from just outside the 18, 1-0 to Jamaica. Jamaica continued to press, and with just over 3 minutes to go before halftime, defender Xavier Davison started a play at the half line, continued his run, and received a nice flick pass from Javier Lynch, who showed his skill to beat 2 defenders and finished like a striker. Jamaica now in full control at 2-0. In the second half, Jamaica continued to create numerous chances. They would go 3-0 up after a chance at the other end. Another breakaway goal from informed striker Lynch in the 52nd minute. Game over, Jamaica through to the final.
We spoke to them, myself and Davey, and the mentality and the situation that we were in. You know, we have to win. And we didn't go overboard in trying to do that. We just play the system and move the ball around, and I think that's why we won the game. We get adjusted to the turf, the fast movement of the ball and the pitch. I think we adjusted well, and the players were more composed and calm today. We passed the ball a lot today. That's why we got the result. We were patient today. It's a tough game for us. You know, it's a professional team, and I saw them play. They play very good football. So we have to go home tonight and plan for them. It's important how we replenish the players. We're trying to get some ice bath for them tonight or early in the morning, and see how well we can recover them for this encounter. For it's going to be tough, it's going to be quicker. The opponent pass the ball a lot, so we have to be disciplined tomorrow. And how we plan to do it, we'll sit down tonight and plan a strategy for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, this part of the season for us is a high school's football. It takes its toll on our guys right now, so there's a lot of lead into districts and what have you, so we were limited a little bit on the player personnel that we had. It was a bit unfortunate, but we went with what we had. But I also think there was a fear factor as well with some of the size difference. I think there was a bit of a fear in some of our players, and we didn't play with as much gusto as I would have liked to have seen. We played a little bit more timid than we typically do. But I think overall, very good learning experience and a very good environment for the kids to build from. The CASA Youth Classic has been great. This is about my 5th year in it. I've lost in the final for the past 2 years prior to the pandemic. And it's always a fantastic atmosphere, great fans, great spectators. And like I said, I think it's a very good environment for the kids and something that they can build and grow from.
In the opening game of the day, with both Tobago and Altitude Rush playing for pride, after Inter Miami's win over Rush the night before, it was an opportunity for both teams to leave the tournament with something to show. Altitude Rush started better and had the Tobagonians defended constantly, but the first clear chance fell to them. But finishing has been their problem, and it showed again in this chance. Altitude would soon punish the Tobagonians and would run out 3-0 winners. Their goalkeeper, who was excellent in goal for the Tobagonians, kept the score respectable.
Here comes the goalkeeper again. What a beautiful save.
Goalkeeper carry more now, you know. I wouldn't say I had set it up in a way for him to be showcased, but you know, I was picking, I would say, the best from Tobago and not really having a strong team. It actually showed off people individual talents that they really had to play, because America really believes in running, and and that is one thing that we worked on a lot. So if you notice, most of the players didn't really burn out to say that they were lazy at it. Showcasing talents is most important to me, because if I really wanted 3 points, I would have even just leave 11 guys on the field. But I really came to showcase Tobago, showcase the talent. There's a lot of young talent out there, and I just really came to let the guys really see what it's all about. So next year and the year after, we decide to maybe really take the 3 points this time, It
always takes a game to warm up, but the boys responded well. It was pretty hard on them. Called them to task, and they responded well. I asked for 7 goals, they gave me 3. I'm not going to complain. They played well. We're a residency program based out of Port St. Lucie, and this is the first year of the project. So we got these boys basically in June of last year, and then we just started to build out our teams. We have 4 teams. This is our top group. We call it the Gold Team, and we're hoping to add more players next year. I'll take that goalkeeper from the Tobago team in an instant.
After the first game, we get a bit more settled. We train on grass. The other day, we get more accustomed to the flow and stuff. So we get a little bit more accustomed to more relaxed today. I have to say I'm proud of myself. I came with a goal, and I feel like I'm accomplished that goal. To showcase my skills and help the team to perform.
One thing I take from this tournament is that the youths, man. The youths is most important, and anything with the youths I support it big time, because if you just leave them home with no opportunities, with no idea out the outer world out there, I just want to say thanks to CASA for bringing us out here and making it, my 31 strong had that opportunity to play on foreign soil.
Historically, the CASA Youth Soccer Classic attracts scouts and coaches looking for young talent to bolster their college teams. This year was no different.
Just looking for talented players, right, that are going to fit our system. People that are going to work hard and wanting to come into a new environment. Not too specific on the positions.
Yeah, a lot of talent. Definitely some raw talent, which we can appreciate. Being that from the islands, originally from my family, is seeing players that can play in Florida is easy, because just the climate's easy to adjust, and just raw ability. And I think a lot of that can be translated into any level in college, but it's important that the kids know that you have to have the grades. So I think for us, looking at kids with solid grade point average is huge, because we can't let anybody in. You have to have a certain standard, and that standard must be met.
We're looking for high school graduates, so you've got to have a 2.0 to be able to come into us, and then that doesn't mean we're not looking for good students, but the minimum can be on the lower end to go into the NJCA. Myself and the other coaches have had a chat about a few talented boys where we're still watching, but it's a possibility. We are NJCAA Division 1, so we're a junior college program, and then we transition all of our boys onto NCAA, NAIA schools. Pretty nice place to be on the coast of Florida, and some outstanding facilities.
I would say not right away. I think for us, because this is my day 2, I only watched 1 game yesterday. So for me, today, second day is going to probably see a little more talent. So it's the goal to see both games. But always going to keep communication open. For us, we're always looking to find the best players. So wherever they're from, we're gonna try to snag them. I mean, that's just what it is. So if you stand out and your grades are good, we'll definitely look at you. So academics, we're over a 3.2 GPA. One of the things about the Florida schools, you have to have an ACT or SAT. And that is something that I think other universities throughout the nation get away with, but we have to have it. And it's important that we actually show that. And it's just a standard that NCAA still has in place, but a lot of schools are going away from it. As far as the soccer stuff, just hardworking, determined kids that just, you can come from humble beginnings, but you just need to work and listen. At the end of the day, we want you to be the best student and hopefully make it and, graduate, get a meaningful degree. We have one right now from Jamaica, Jamon Barclay. He played with the U20s, and we're talking to a couple more that hopefully will join us for 2023. But because, like I said, the climate, location, it's an easy, I don't want to say an easy sell, but it's a good situation where kids can come and feel at home. Doing really well. It's just been an adjustment, I think, coming from Jamaica here just because of the speed of play. Physically, he has all the tools. He's just figuring out where is his best spot positionally, but he's a very versatile player and he's got a bright future.
What a performance by the Jamaicans, overcoming adversity to win comfortably. Tobago, on the other hand, left the tournament without scoring, but the experience on foreign soil was deemed invaluable. To the break we go, with great anticipation for the big final to come. Welcome back. We just love it when the two favorites meet in the final, don't we? But before we go to the grand finale, we know how important food is to any tournament. And night after night, jerk chicken was sold with a nice twist.
I'm about to enjoy some more of the good food. That's exactly what I'm about to enjoy.
Well, everything is going fine, you know. Chicken well prepared, seasoned good. You know what I mean? And we fire well nice and low, so the chicken come out pretty. My father used to have a restaurant on the beach, Old Harbour Beer. And he always do these things, and I say, anyway, we follow him, we can't go wrong. So we just follow him. But coming into the US, this wasn't a part of the plan, but this is how US turn you. You have to have many talents, it's a survival. You understand? So we do all construction and all kind of thing. And I used to do this in my backyard till I get a spot over here. And from I've been here about 12 years now, I hold on a spot. And people just look forward to this every CASA season, you know. When the season done, it's like people still calling me. You know what I mean? This is, we call it fried dumpling down in Jamaica. Because my mother used to make this every Sunday. My mother used to have a roti iron in the house. So this is where it started. So every Sunday, she still cook dinner, but she still make we a few roti. So through the roti, you go to slow. If you match with the chicken, I fry it instead. So this match with the chicken. This fried dumpling fry in like a minute, 30 seconds and flip. Because if you go longer than that, the line I go long out the road and I can't manage. So from we here and the people in here, the first chop, everybody want chicken and fried dumpling, you know?
Well, I wish I had some of that fried roti, but such is life. Let's get back to the football.
This is the final that everyone was hoping for. Inter Miami Under-19s versus the Jamaica Select team. And for the first time, Jamaica didn't start as the favorites.
So now we lift up the house when we are saying now. Yeah, man. We lift up the house when we are saying. After 3, 1, 2, 3, United!
But they had the crowd behind them. Fort Lauderdale's large Jamaican population turning out in numbers. After all the pleasantries, it was down to business. The Jamaicans knew they had to be disciplined to have any chance, and so they were, with the early expected pressure from Inter Miami. In the 23rd minute, the Jamaicans broke down the right side with Jamani McDonald getting a cross off to Jaheim Johnson, who was brought down in the penalty area, the penalty awarded to Jamaica after the referee's consultation. Romain Blake took personal responsibility and confidently converted. Inter Miami conceding their first goal in the tournament. The half would end with Jamaica in the lead, but with 40 minutes to go, the game was far from over. The second half saw the Inter Miami team making a few adjustments with fresh legs, but the Jamaica select team stayed disciplined. With less than 5 minutes to go, it seemed like Jamaica would walk away with the upset victory, but Inter scored after a poor clearance by the defense. To penalties we go. In the penalty shootout, only Romain Blake would score, as both Xavier Davidson and Kevon Wilson would draw blank. While Inter Miami converted 4 from 4. Inter Miami, champions of the 2023 CASA Youth Soccer Classic.
Not proud about the result, but really proud about the performance and how the boys did in terms of the time that we had them together. It was a very short time. And I think overall, when you look at the Inter Miami team, they have a very well-structured program. I just said a set of boys playing for 4 years. So I think credit must be given to Jamaica for how well we stood up today.
It's also good to come from behind, not to always dominate or be on top and be in charge. So we had to dig in. I'm very proud of the boys because it's not easy when you're down, crowd is against you, you know, things are not going well, the other team is playing better than you. To come out in the second half with composure and intensity and the purpose to find a way to win, you know. So very happy for the boys. Congratulations to Jamaica on a great tournament. They've got a great team. They're very professional, very respectful. It was great to get to know them and to play them.
The Jamaicans losing for only the second time in 10 editions of the CASA Youth Soccer Classic, which was watched by hundreds of fans. Among those were former Reggae Boys coach Carl Brown and Reggae Boys defender Damian Lowe. They both spoke glowingly about the talent on show.
Come out to watch both teams still, you know, but Jamaica first for sure. To be honest, I'm really impressed with Saka, that young Wilson. He's good. JC, Manning Cup champion, you know, he has won a lot this year. A couple of other players, I think the centre-back is really good. Good leadership quality. The keeper did his thing also, unfortunately, on the penalties, but yeah, it was a good game.
We hear so often that there's no talent in Jamaica. But when you come and see these youngsters here, you just wonder what they're talking about, you know, because we have a very talented bunch. I spoke to Coach Lenny and he told me that some of his better players are not here too. You know, so I've seen a lot here today for us to work with. Sometimes I feel it's just an excuse that the powers that be, that they don't want to spend any money on our local players. You know, because we have talent here. I've traveled around quite a bit, and the talent I see out here tonight is not any less and probably far better than what I've seen the length and breadth of this world.
The Caribbean is definitely not short of football talent, and this CASA Youth Soccer Classic definitely exposed more of it. That's where we leave you though for 2023. See you in 2024.